Velasco back at the Fox Network Center. Fireworks don't necessarily start after dark, not when the Yankees and Red Sox are on a collision course this holiday weekend. It's more than a battle for tops in the East. Arch rivals clash next on Fox.
It is written that as America celebrates its 227th birthday, the Boston Red Sox take on the New York Yankees. Historical franchises, arch rivals with explosive offenses and plenty of fireworks. Stars and pinstripes. Huzzah! Under the watchful eye of Lady Liberty. What a way to celebrate the 4th of July weekend. It is heavy, it is hazy in New York as we get ready for Fox Saturday Baseball. A packed house, what else would you expect? The Boston Red Sox are in town. Two of the most proud franchises in Major League Baseball history. Boston and New York, the two flags flying high in this breeze at Yankee Stadium. And welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver in just a moment. You know the story for the Red Sox. They can pound, but can they pitch? And is their bullpen good enough? Yesterday, they put on a display here at Yankee Stadium with 7 home runs and a 10-3 victory. Come on, why don't you count with me? That was Varitek. This is Ortiz. This is 3. First for Miller. Varitek again. You're going to see some guys for the second time. There's Ortiz. Hey, look, it's Bill Miller again. And then, for good measure, one on an upper tank shot into left field. It doesn't happen often. It was off the bat of Manny Ramirez, so we know this. The Boston Red Sox, no matter who the Yankees want to line up as starting pitchers in this series, they can pound. How about this offense? Have you seen anything like it in a while for Boston?
No, I really haven't. As a matter of fact, the members of the Red Sox, balls have been flying around the ballpark like they've been members of Cirque du Soleil. They lead the majors in almost every major category. They are first in average, first in hits per game, first in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, runs per game, and home runs tied for 4th as the Yankees lead it. The pitching is a major problem, however, Joe. That's one of the reasons the Red Sox are 3 games behind the Yankees.
And you have to believe before the deadline they will add someone. For the Yankees, here they are rolling 20 games over the 500 mark, and yet they've been through a lot already this season.
In some ways, it's been the most trying year under Joe Torre's tenure. Consider that the top 3, Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, and Bernie Williams, they've all missed considerable playing time. There's been bickering between Joe Torre and George Steinbrenner, and they were no-hit by 6 different pitchers, and yet they're still in first place.
They are still in first place right now with a 3-game lead over the Boston Red Sox. Ramiro Mendoza makes his return to Yankee Stadium. He's on the mound for Boston. He'll take on Roger Clemens. A couple of historic moments in the history of this stadium.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
And Rigetti trying to get Bob. And he gets it! A no-hitter from Dave Rigetti! How about that? Who doesn't want to watch baseball today? Come on, stay inside, watch your television, and watch the Yankees and the Red Sox from the Bronx. These are fun games, and it's Roger Clemens in the center of it all, taking on the franchise with which he grew up. Let's take a look at the lineup for Boston. And this is a very good lineup. Johnny Damon is the only guy in the starting lineup not hitting 300 or better. It's Walker, Garciaparra, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, Kevin Millar, Trot Nixon, Bill Miller, and Jason Varitek. As you look at the celebrations from yesterday after their 7 home runs, it's an all-time record against Yankee pitching in a single game. And here is Roger Clemens with 301 career wins.
When you look at all the numbers, the one thing that is impressive more than any, the strikeouts. He leads the American League in strikeouts with 119, and he's 40 years old.
Going to turn 41 in August 4th to be exact. So if you're going to get him something for his birthday, you've got less than a month to figure out what it is. There are the numbers with Toronto and with the Yankees against the Boston Red Sox. And pitch 1 as a strike. I didn't get to see it long enough, but he was 2-0 in 4 starts with Toronto, and in 13 starts with the Yankees, 5-4 with a 4.1 ERA. 0-2. Roger Clemens leads the American League with his 119 strikeouts. And he's trying to become the second 40-year-old to lead the league in strikeouts. Nolan Ryan did it 4 times after he turned 40. Soriano. One away. 91 luscious degrees here at the ballpark. Fans will be sweating through this. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. Robin Ventura anchors the position over at third. Jeter, Soriano, and Zeal at first today. As you look at Alfonso Soriano, Zeal at first with Jason Giambi serving as the DH. First pitch is a strike to the number 2 hitter, Todd Walker, who's been a nice addition to this Boston team. A 300 average, 8 home runs, and 48 RBIs.
Todd Walker, nice addition against Roger Clemens also. He leads all Red Sox hitters, batting .450 lifetime against Clemens. Of course, that's only 20 at bats, but it is what it is.
Broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. 1-1 pitch. Rides up and in. 2 balls and a strike. The Red Sox come in at 49-35. 3 games off the pace set by the Yankees. The Yankees come in still red hot, even with yesterday's loss, having won 16 of 20. 2-2. 16 of 20 since that no-hitter here in New York by that group of 6 by the Houston Astros that did it to the Yankees. There are the standings. Toronto now has slipped back at 6.5 out. Defensive swing and a foul to keep Walker in there. A lot of high socks all over the place. Not only the guy on the mound, but the guy at the plate.
The highest socks today will be worn by Kevin Millar of the Red Sox. That's just a guesstimate.
No official word from Cooperstown on that yet.
No official word from Cooperstown.
But we hope to get it before the end of the day from Dale Petrosky. There's a fly ball into left. That's easy for Kareem Garcia. First 2 Red Sox are gone here in the first. Nomar Garciaparra walks in. I mean, look at them all. It just adds to the excitement here at Yankee Stadium. Garciaparra steps in. A guy who hit .398 during the month of June and is a .329 career hitter. Little slider from Roger Clemens. 0-1. Jeter takes care of his counterpart in a 1-2-3 first inning for Clemens. Now the Yankees come to bat against their old buddy Ramiro Mendoza. Makes his first start for the Red Sox after a half at Yankee Stadium. No score. The Yankee lineup against Ramiro Mendoza. He used to pitch for these guys. Now he's trying to get them out. Alfonso Soriano, Derek Jeter, Jason Giambi, the DH, with Sierra, Matsui, and Posada in the middle. Ventura, Zeal, and Kareem Garcia batting in the 9th spot in left field. And making his first start in a Boston Red Sox uniform is Ramiro Mendoza. And he hasn't made a start since June 9th of 2001 against Atlanta, wearing the Yankee pinstripes.
Pretty simple with Mendoza, and the Yankees know it. If they hit the ball in the air, they'll win.
That's in the air, but on a line right at Ramirez. 1 out.
Reason for that, for Mendoza to be effective, he has to throw his sinker. So if he can get ground balls, a good day for the Red Sox. Fly balls, a good day for the Yankees.
The numbers not good at all. He went on the disabled list with right knee tendonitis on June 13th. He pitched 12 scoreless innings in his rehab assignment. while it seemed like the Red Sox have been looking for starters to fill in behind Pedro Martinez for the last 4 or 5 years, the spot opened up and Mendoza's the guy for now. Here's Jeter hitting only .286. Derek is a .315 career hitter compared to Garcia-Parra at .329. One ball, one strike.
That's the Mendoza sinker. And it's pretty simple, and Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach for the Yankees, knows it. When his hand is above the ball goes down. His problems come when he drops his hand, the ball stays up.
That's a tricky hop. Miller's very good at third, 2 out. But if he struggles with it and he starts pushing it a little bit, Stottlemyre's not going to run out and help him. No,
that was Mel's job for 7 years when Mendoza was with the Yankees. But this is a very good sinker from Jeter, as Mendoza is really on top of the ball as opposed to that hand being down and flat. And he gets Jeter on the grounder.
The left side of this Boston Red Sox infield defense and better than the right side. Walker is okay at second base. Millar is a big-bodied first baseman, moves around pretty well. But Miller is extraordinary at third, and Nomar Garcia-Parra, even with his 12 errors, can make some dazzling plays. That's ball 2, 2-0.
Joe, this is the first time that we have seen a team not shift on Giambi. Normally, the shortstop is there, third baseman is there, but they're not playing Giambi straight up, but straighter in the infield than any team that we've seen this year, including the National League clubs.
Yet Mendoza stays away, and he's missed with the first 3 pitches. It's 3-0. That's low. Another walk for Giambi. His 70th of the season. #1 in the American League.
You could see those hits by direction by Giambi, only 14 to left field. But he has a tendency to lift the ball when he goes the other way. The ground ball to the left side is rare.
So now it's Ruben, Fountain of Youth, Sierra. And the Yankees are 18-7 since they picked him up. First game was that Saturday before, well, at Wrigley Field, the day that Roger Clemens was going for 300. Came up shy that day, and it took a start against the Cardinals on a Friday night a couple of weeks ago to get it done. Strike 1 from Mendoza. Here's the spot where the Yankees can't wait to get Bernie Williams back in their lineup, and they hope to get him back Tuesday in Cleveland. Somebody to protect Giambi in this lineup.
Just got to ask yourself, why in the world is Millar holding against Giambi? He's going nowhere. 1 stolen base on the year and a mere handful throughout his career, yet Grady Little, the manager of the Red Sox, has Millar holding against Giambi with a left-handed batter up there and a ground ball pitcher pitching. That's not right.
2 balls and a strike. So often we talk about it where it just becomes automatic and routine. A guy on first, the first baseman stands there without any thought as to who is the runner, either by the first baseman or, more importantly, the bench.
He should be back about 10 feet.
That's off the end of the bat, 2-2. Sierra, as a Yankee, is hitting .397, and I think every week we say this, but he was picked up at a time when the Joe Torre George Steinbrenner feud was really at its height, and people believe that the move was made just to needle Joe a little bit, to bring a guy back who took some shots at Torre on his way out the door in '96. But he has produced, and the Yankees have needed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Sierra hops out of there. So you add Sierra with Kareem Garcia and Dan Maselli, 3 guys nobody even talked about, and they've all made an impact since being picked up by Brian Cashman. But they're looking for more. Wow. Full count, and now the runner will go, and you would expect Millar to play behind Giambi now.
He's telling Mendoza that he will do just that. Well, that curveball really came flailing out of the hand of Ramiro Mendoza. It's easier to hit right now because Sierra can bet he's going to get the fastball.
Runner goes, and Sierra goes after one up and away and fouls it away. Sounds of the game. Kevin Millar wearing a mic.
You're stealing now. I'm going now, sunshine. Couple taps, back up, see you later.
I'm going now, sunshine, he says. That was Giambi talking to Millar. 3-2 pitch. And in on the hands. That's easy for Walker, and that's the end of one. A walk to Giambi, a man left. Good played one at Yankee Stadium. So far, so good for Mendoza. No score. Four, 5, and 6 for this Boston lineup. That means Manny Ramirez leads it off. No score in the second. Manny Ramirez from nearby Washington Heights with those pants pulled down low, almost like a taper. It's like he went to a tailor and the guy said, "How much break do you want in these?"
That look right there looks like the tailor still left the pins in it.
0-2. And I think Manny Ramirez is wearing spats. I'm not sure.
They're actually high top baseball shoes. Kevin Millar tried to talk him into wearing the short, bringing the pants up today, but Manny said, "I can't. I have high tops on." And think about how badly that would look.
Ramirez hit Posada as he was getting ready to get set, so he hops out of there. The count 0-2. David Ortiz will follow, and then Kevin Millar. Manny Ramirez hit .351 in June. Millar hit .373 in June. Nixon .356. Walker even hit 5 home runs and drove in 18 in June. And as a ball club, the Red Sox hit .315 in the month of June. Number 4029 has Manny Ramirez's name on it, as Clemens gets his first strikeout of the day.
Up the ladder. This is how American League pitchers used to pitch Ramirez when he first came in the league. Well, Manny is a very, very smart hitter. You have to be to carry that lifetime average that he does. But he went after that high, inviting fastball from Clemens.
So a shake of the head, a seat on the bench, and now it's David Ortiz who went deep twice yesterday. The DH is also hitting .300. He takes a strike. They had Gabe Kapler this past weekend. He starts out 7 for 9.
Yeah,
it's contagious. 40 RBIs for Ortiz, the former Minnesota Twin. Looked like he went 0-2.
Split finger fastball starting around the knees and diving out of the zone. There's the splitter. Very effective for a long time from Clemens.
.94 miles an hour on ball 1 up and away. David Wells gave up 5 home runs yesterday, even walked 2. And suffered his first loss since the end of May. A 10-3 Boston victory. Still 1-2.
David Wells pitched so poorly last night. Made a comment in the New York Post this morning, that it was perhaps the worst night in a long, long time. He threw his glove into the stands and his cap. It was memorabilia night last night around the Yankee dugout.
1-2 pitch. Ortiz, another foul to stay alive. So somebody sitting behind the Yankee dugout on the 4th of July walked out of here with a sweat-ridden hat and a soaked glove.
Yum.
You will never believe what I got at the stadium today. I'm serious.
Put it in the dryer, honey.
The 1-2 pitch. Will you get that out of here? It smells. Clemens trying to strike out the first 2 in the second. Millar on deck. Speaking of gloves, how about the last time Clemens pitched against Boston here at Yankee Stadium? He was going after his 300th win in the Red Sox, and Grady Little made him take his glove off because it already had a commemorative patch on the back side of it for 300 victories. He didn't win that day. Ortiz has had a good battle with Roger Clemens.
Took Roger 4 tries to get number 300. The winner of 192 games with the Boston Red Sox.
41 in 2 seasons and 2 Cy Youngs with Toronto. 68 wins working under Mel Stottlemyre and the Yankees since he was picked up in '99. That should be the second out. If somebody can find this baby in the haze. Not easy. 2 out. Kareem Garcia was the one that was in charge of that, and a little lunge at the end to make the play.
You saw that coming, and so did I, Joe. Jeter couldn't see it initially, then Garcia couldn't see it. Drifting, and finally one-hands it. Yankee Stadium is the only ballpark in the major leagues where left field is tougher to play than right field.
Millar with a good rip, strike 1.
You may say, what about Fenway Park, where you have the monster in left field? In no way is it tougher than Yankee Stadium because of the sun and primarily because of the spaciousness in left field.
Oh, Millar is hammered. And I don't know if it caught him on the hand, the wrist, the forearm, wherever. That's only the 3rd batter that Clemens has hit this season.
Millar mic'd, and all the jokes are over. It was just a matter of time before Roger Clemens threw inside to a Boston hitter. They had 7 home runs in yesterday's game. Millar did not hit one, however, and that was a little scary. That ball up around the left shoulder. Watch how Millar reacts. Instead of turning away from the pitch, looked like it hit him on the back of the left hand. That one had to hurt.
Millar down in a heap, and it would be hard to believe that somebody could take a Clemens fastball off the back of his left hand and continue, but it looks like Millar at least will run the bases, and his next at bat is certainly in question. There's the reaction from Roger Clemens, and I think your point is the most important point, and that is after suffering through a 7 home run day, the Yankees probably figured enough is enough. Now he's at least trying to drive Millar off the plate, and he ends up hitting him on the back of the left hand. Now it's Trot Nixon, and he hammers one into deep right center field, trying to make Clemens pay, and he does. 2-run home run Nixon. A hit batsman, and on the next pitch, Nixon takes him deep.
No greater retaliatory tactic than after one of your teammates is hit on the next pitch to take the pitcher deep.
A no-doubter by Trot Nixon, his 13th of the season. A strike is into Miller.
Millar is hit by Clemens. Nixon says, Kevin, I'll make him pay, and that's what he did.
One ball, one strike. So 7 home runs yesterday, and here in the top of the second, number 8 of this 4-game series. Well, the Red Sox started 4 games out. They're now 3 out, and they lead 2-0 here early. Three and one now on Miller. Talk about picking a guy up because of his steady glove at third base, and then you walk into a .327 average with 7 home runs. The Red Sox have to be shocked at the way Bill Miller is hitting the ball.
And that allowed the Red Sox to trade Shea Hillenbrand to the Arizona Diamondbacks for Byung-Hyun Kim, who is now in the bullpen, and Ramiro Mendoza is taking his place in the starting rotation temporarily.
Strike 3 call, but not a very loud cheer from the Yankee faithful. Clemens yelling at himself as he exits. Hit batsman, home run Nixon. 2-0 Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. If you haven't paid attention to Hideki Matsui, you should start to. His first year in the Yankee pinstripes, and all of a sudden he's hitting .304, and he's tied for 6th in the American League with 63 RBIs. The American League's Rookie of the Month for June, as the count goes to 2-0 from Mendoza. Hitting .429 since June 7th. So for 1 month, he's basically hitting .430. And he has the count in his favor, 2-0.
Think about the insurance the Yankees picked up when they signed Matsui.
That's another hit for Hideki. He's on to start the second. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question: which of our 2 teams today needs more bullpen help? To answer today's question, use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint, or log on to foxsports.com and type in the keyword MLB on Fox. And it's a fair question, and you can get on. And again, I saw Tim using this before the game, calling his answering machine.
First time
your life is really picking up.
You know, it was touching, wasn't it, Joe? That was the first time you saw me use my cell phone.
It was a watershed moment.
The warm moments between 2 broadcasters.
Jorge Posada at the plate, runner at first, nobody out, and off the glove of Millar. Matsui will go to second, 2 on with nobody out. Tim, that's a fair question as the Yankees try to mount a rally, because outside of Hammond and of course Rivera at the back end of the bullpen, there are question marks throughout the bullpen for Joe Torre and the Yankees too.
Yeah, but they have Rivera back. And we talked about insurance as Posada lines one off the glove of Millar. Matsui back to first base, and then by the time he started to go towards second, even thought the ball might hit him for a moment. So the Yankees with a threat here in the second inning.
I found out that Brian Cashman doesn't listen to us, by the way. He listens to John Sterling and Charlie Steiner.
Yes, I found out the same thing.
Slowly hit. Walker, Garciaparra, double play, 4-6-3. Off the bat of Ventura, runner at third, 2 out. So there's the sinker. There's the typical ground ball against Ramiro Mendoza, and here is the double play.
Grady Little saying about Mendoza that he throws a lot of ground balls, and sometimes that one pitch gets 2 outs. Well, this is that sometime. See that ball tailing away from Ventura. He tried to pull it, hit it off the end of the bat weakly, Robin not a fast runner, an easy double play for the Red Sox.
Now it's Zeal with a runner at third, 2 out. Mendoza really in the same mold as the starter for the Red Sox yesterday, Derek Lowe. Zeal takes a fastball for a strike.
That's true.
2 sinker ball specialists on back-to-back days against the Yankees. Oh, 1 pitch.
That insurance policy we talked about with Matsui. The Yankees had no idea Bernie Williams would go down in center field. They did know, however, that Matsui played center field for the Yomiuri Giants the last 3 years. Left field his first 7 years in Japan. So that policy really is reaping dividends since the Yankees don't have to go outside the organization and trade for a center fielder.
Up the middle. What a play by Garciaparra to end the inning. Showing power and flashing leather. A double play and then a run-saving play by Garciaparra to his left. Still 2-0 Red Sox on the Nixon home run. Back after this from your local Fox station. Jason Varitek, the number 9 hitter for Boston, then Johnny Damon and Todd Walker. I'll keep you cool, baby. Come to the game with me. You should see this gadget I've got. Varitek hit 2 home runs yesterday. Miller hit 2. And Nixon has hit 1 today. So that's 5 home runs out of the bottom 3 spots in the Red Sox order in a game plus in this 4-game series so far. 0-2 on Varitek. During a 9-game hitting streak, hitting .500. 15 RBIs. 1-2.
See that term slugging percentage, and some of you folks may not know how to figure that out. It's in some ways an obscure term in baseball, but it's very, very important. It's total bases divided into at-bats. Total bases into at-bats.
To the right side for Soriano. The hop comes up. Out number 1 in the 3rd, and here's Jeannie Zelasco with a game break from Los Angeles.
Joe, Tim, meet the latest least like Cardinal in Chicago. Jim Edmonds started Friday's affair with a home run, and he repeated the feat today. A solo shot. All right, it's not back-to-back this time, but Albert Pujols got his shot off top 2, a 3-run home run. The 3rd straight game Pujols has homered. It is 5-zip St. Louis, bottom 2.
Well, the last Triple Crown winner wore a Boston Red Sox uniform and went by the name, at least the nickname, Yaz. And if you look at the numbers for Albert Pujols, and I know Jeannie and Kevin have, he started the day hitting .377, first by a mile in the National League. He now has 26 home runs. He's still 1 shy of Edmonds, who just hit his 27th. And he's number 1 in RBIs with 80. So he is right at the top in all 3 Triple Crown categories in the National League. And I mean, he works. He works hard as Damon lines one to Ventura on a short hop, 2 out.
You mentioned the name Carl Yastrzemski. You talk about a guy who works hard and who worked hard. He doesn't work hard anymore. He fishes all the time.
Except for the one day when he golfs.
Yeah, right. 1 day of golfing, 6 days of fishing. In the 1967 series, I had the pleasure of being on a very good Cardinal team. And after game 1, a game won by the Cardinals over the Red Sox at Fenway, we were waiting for the bus, about 5 of us.
Walker, strike 1.
And Carl Yastrzemski had the grounds crew bring the cage out from center field at Fenway Park. And after 163 games, Carl Yastrzemski took extra hitting.
That's into left center field. Garcia staggers after it, and the inning is over.
The next day, he hit 2 home runs against the Cardinals.
Pujols trying to win a Triple Crown in the National League. We're in the month of July. Bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. Our RadioShack.com trivia question: which baseball player was the first athlete to have his number retired? Here's Kareem Garcia, the number 9 hitter for the Yankees, takes low for ball 1.
The New York Yankees, the first team with numbers on their uniforms. 1929, so it had to be obviously after that.
About 10 years after that.
39.
Yes. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Number 4.
Hey, that's all you get out of me. Don't be looking out and that's cheating. 1-1 pitch. There's another leadoff base hit. The Yankees put their first 2 on in the second, but Ventura hit into a double play. Then Zeal grounded one up the middle, and Garciaparra made a play to his left. And during the break, you remarked to me, and I think if you take the whole rivalry thing out of it, I think any baseball fan would enjoy and has to enjoy watching Nomar Garciaparra play this game.
I'm telling you, the guy is just a joy to watch. The flair with which he plays, the torque, the strength in throwing, the wiry ability to range at shortstop, unlike any other shortstop that I know. Throwing off balance a lot of the time. There's no plant in throw, and that terrific play to save at least 1 run that he made to end the second inning.
Garcia's on, and the first pitch is a strike to Soriano, who lined the first pitch into left for an out his first time up. Constant motion, always fiddling, whether it's with his glove or his batting gloves or his wristbands or whatever.
Or his feet in the batter's box that Derek Jeter imitated in the 1999 All-Star game, one of the most memorable that we've had here on Fox, and maybe one of the most memorable ever.
That's into right center field. It won't carry. Damon makes the catch. Garcia tags and draws a throw. Perfect throw by Damon. 1 out. You know, we keep saying, and we keep talking about the All-Star game. This time it counts, and whatever slogan you want to attach to it. But now there's significance as to who wins or loses the game. And my personal opinion on it is, whether you like the idea or not of that particular league getting home field advantage during the World Series, the one thing I think, it's a means to an end. And I think you might get the stars and the starters playing deeper in the game. And because there is significance attached to the winner and loser, I think it takes the pressure off the managers to get everybody in the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
1 on, 1 out. Jeter is jammed, and he dumps one into right center field for a hit. Damon will make the play, and it's first and second, 1 out.
Garcia has got to be on third base. With 1 out, you strive to get on third. The first thing you do when you get to first base, you check the outfield and their positioning. And because Jeter was hitting, Damon was deep. The minute he hits this ball, you take off for third and make it. Watch how far Damon misses this ball. The ball bounded like 20 feet from him. Garcia stops at second and misses an opportunity to get to third base. Tell you, Major League Baseball base running is the Ebola virus of this sport right now. It is horrible. I mean, horrible. Perhaps extreme example.
2 on, 1 out. That's sliced to the left side. Manny Ramirez will have a play. 2 on, 2 out.
And that's a run for the Yankees if Garcia's on at third base. That's why you strive to get there with 1 out. You take a chance. The guy makes a great play against you, tip your cap. And nobody knows that more than Joe Torre, who talks about the base running in the major leagues, saying he has seen horrible base running this season, perhaps without a parallel.
So now with 2 on and 2 out, the batter is Ruben Sierra. I thought what you said earlier before the game, it's like with Major League base runners, not all, but most, once they get to first base, the journey is over.
Yeah. They think, well, I got a hit. They don't keep averages on going from first to third, things like that. In baseball, in a strange sort of way, is more important in the averages they don't keep.
With 2 on 2 out, Sierra with a count of 0-1. Why not go a little farther outside? 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's Kareem Garcia, 1 out. You have to remember that. He stops. Now when he rounds second base, it's too late.
Trying to drill the outside corner to Sierra. It's 2-1.
We've mentioned this before about base running. Don Zimmer was the first guy I heard say it, that the most important offensive department is base running. That leads to more runs, and it takes more runs away from you if you don't do it well.
Time called, and he went on to say that evening that we were hanging out in Joe Torre's office that it's the one time when these major leaguers aren't looking in the dugout. They're kind of on their own for the most part, getting a jump on a ball hit to the outfield, where pitch outs are called from the dugout, hitting and running is called from the dugout. You name it, the dugout and the managers try to control everything. That's an easy one for Mendoza. And that's 3 scoreless innings from the Boston right-handed starter and former Yankee. We go to the 4th inning. 2-0 Red Sox, game 2 of this 4-game set. We go into inning number 4. It'll be Garcia Parra, then Manny Ramirez, the first 2. And a fly ball into right center field. Handled by Sierra. 1 pitch, 1 out. Our RadioShack.com trivia question with Tim looking out into left center field when the question was posed: which baseball player was the first athlete to have his number retired? The answer, Lou Gehrig, July 4th, 1939. The date of the infamous speech. There's a monument out there to Gehrig, Huggins, DiMaggio, Ruth, Mantle, and a monument dedicated to 9/11, which they dedicated in 2002. As Manny Ramirez is swinging for the upper deck again, and he comes up empty, strike 1. Monument Park out in left center field. That's strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes.
The estate of Lou Gehrig has a website now, LouGehrig.com, and a guy who just does a remarkable job for us, Wayne Fiddleman, along with Eric Billigmeyer, guys down in the truck, came up with a startling revelation, at least startling to me. In 1925, the Red Sox, feeling very bad about Ruth's success, they wanted to make amends, and they offered, I beg your pardon, the Yankees did. The Yankees offered Lou Gehrig for Phil Tott to repay Boston for the blockbuster trade a few years earlier of Babe Ruth. Think about that. I have never heard that. So think about how closely, or how close, Gehrig was to becoming a Boston player. Remarkable.
That was in 1925, and you can look at a deal that was made in the 70s when Sparky Lyle was traded here from Boston. A great closer, which gave the Yankees something that the Red Sox didn't have then, and the Yankees have something the Red Sox aren't sure they have now, and that is a dominant closer. And in fact, after that deal was made in March of '72, the Red Sox were scared to make another deal with the Yankees. Didn't do so for 14 years.
Is that right?
Wow. When they traded Don Baylor to Boston for Mike Easler. And you see former Red Sox in their careers with the Yankees. Ruth, Lyle, Boggs, and now Clemens, who's on the mound right now. He's won 2 championships in the pinstripes. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. Ortiz sports 1 foul. It's 1-2.
It's not uncommon in baseball to have 2 teams who are fierce rivals not make trades. You consider the Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants.
That's hit in the air to deep center field. Matsui back at the track, at the wall. It's another Red Sox home run. And it's the third of this series for David Ortiz. The DH goes deep, and it's 3-0 Red Sox here in the fourth.
Nine home runs for the Red Sox now in 12 2/3 innings against the Yankees, and the second of the day against Clemens. Cirque du Soleil.
Here's Millar, who was hit on the left hand his last time up, takes a pitch up and in. Matsui did all he could, but just ran out of room and off that hitter's background. Beyond the 408 mark. Fastball for a strike. Doesn't matter what spot out of this Boston Red Sox lineup, they can jump up and bite you. Millar pops it up to the right side for Zeal, slams his bat down, and Zeal ends the inning. But not before another Boston home run. They hit 7 yesterday. They've gone deep twice today. First it was Nixon, now Ortiz, and it's 3-0 Red Sox into the bottom of the fourth. First pitch to Hideki Matsui is up and away for ball one, and we're underway in the bottom of the fourth. The Yankees have actually out-hit the Red Sox 4-2. 2 hits, home runs for Boston. Matsui out in front, count 1-1. Mendoza has spread the hits out enough. He's been helped by his defense. A double play in the second. A good play by Garciaparra to his left to end the second and keep Matsui, who was coming down the line at third, from scoring. That's out of play, strike two. We started talking about the All-Star game a couple innings ago, and just to bring it back up and finish the point, you know, I think it's a stretch to think that anybody's coming to the plate in the All-Star game thinking, well, if I hit a home run here, the World Series is going to start in my league's city. I mean, give me that. I don't think that's. I think that's putting too much emphasis on it. That's down and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But just to bring the point back up, how many times have we been with Joe Torre or a manager before the All-Star game, and their main question is, I don't know how I'm going to get all these guys in the game. It's not how we're going to win the game.
Yeah, that's right.
It's how am I going to get everybody in to justify their trip to the All-Star game instead of spending 3 days off. Full count, 3-2. So I think what you have to hope happens is that because there is significance attached to the winning side, that the stars play more and the pressure's off the managers to get everybody in. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And I think because it's been talked about and the emphasis has been put on the All-Star game being so different, I think that's what will happen. Whereas guys used to have one at bat and then fly, I think managers will be more inclined to give the stars 2 at bats. I don't think the pitching's going to change. I don't think pitchers will be throwing more than 2 innings, but maybe.
Three-2 pitch and another hit for Matsui. He is absolutely red hot. 2 for 2 today and adds to his .306 average. Speaking of the All-Star game, it's coming up the south side of Chicago on the 15th of July. There have been 3 of them there, including the first one in 33. Babe Ruth hit a 2-run home run for the American League in 33. 1950, our good friend Red Schoendienst, a game-winning home run in the 14th. And in 1983, the Fred Lynn Grand Slam was off Atlee Hammaker, the first and only Grand Slam in All-Star game history. Posada takes a ball down and in.
You know, when you think about the All-Star game, which will be played a week from Tuesday on the south side of Chicago, as Joe said, a guy who may start that game is one of the great stories in baseball this year, Esteban Loaiza, who leads the American League in earned run average, and he pitches for the White Sox.
2-0 now on Posada as the Yankee fans start to sense a rally.
Chicago White Sox now only 2 games behind. Check that, 4.5 games behind the Kansas City Royals. Minnesota 2.5 back in the American League Central.
2 balls and a strike on Posada. And who would have thought that those 2 teams would be looking up at the Kansas City Royals this deep into the season?
Yeah.
What that's done is it's taken the potential away from a lot of these teams that are competing in other divisions to pick up some of the Kansas City Royals down the stretch to help their own team, whether it's Carlos Beltran, who's been talked about here in New York, or someone else.
That's an interesting point. Well taken.
White Sox on that list as well. They were believed to be in the seller's market. Now they've added Roberto Alomar and Carl Everett this past week. And so a guy like Cologne or somebody else who might have been traded away will probably be kept. That is on the inside corner as Veritek brought it back, and Posada lets the home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman hear about it.
If you're a left-handed batter from a right-handed pitcher, you're looking for the sinker away. But this is a tailing fastball that Dreckman says came back over the inside corner. Very, very close pitch.
2-2. Got him. 1 on 1 out, and the first strikeout comes at a good time for Ramiro Mendoza.
That's one of the luxuries you do not have if you are a catcher. You can't argue when you're at the plate. You can't argue about a ball and strike, but think about that tandem of pitches. The fastball inside, and now the curveball away. Strike 2 set up strike 3.
Then you can understand Posada's frustration as Ventura hits another double play ball. And again, it's 4-6-3 and the inning is over. Posada saying, all right, you can give him the inside corner, but don't give him off the outside corner as well.
The wide plate.
Mendoza doing his job. We go to the 5th. 3-0 Boston. Our Pepsi fan camp here at Yankee Stadium. The late great Barry White. Passing away at the age of 58. And I know part of the soundtrack for your life, sir.
Absolutely. That was when the bump was in. Remember the 70s when the bump, then it was followed by the hustle. Barry White had something to do with that. The hustle craze.
1 ball, 1 strike on Trot Nixon.
And you go back to the 60s and it was the bop. You were a big bop fan, I bet.
So well, I read all about that.
Yeah, he went from the bop to the bump to the hustle.
Electric slide later.
Electric slide. That was in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Early 90s. I don't know.
What goes around comes around. Now it's all back to the swing.
Here's a 2 ball, 1 strike pitch to Nixon, who has a history with Roger Clemens. And he flies one into left field for another hit. You think about Trot Nixon. Nixon, his first time up, follows the Millar hit by pitch with a first pitch home run into right center. You go back to May 28th of 2000 on a Sunday night. It was Trot Nixon who broke up a 0-0 game between Roger Clemens and Pedro Martinez here at Yankee Stadium with a 9th inning 2-run home run. So Trot Nixon is climbing onto that list where Mike Piazza resides as hitters in the last 5 years who have pounded Clemens. 1 ball, no strikes. And Mike Piazza will tell you that's a dangerous list on which to reside. Bill Miller at the plate, struck out his first time. So Nixon 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run and a base hit the other way. Forward in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Nixon, in case you're wondering, 3 for 3 in the stolen base department. Typically, you'd say with the bottom of the lineup, this might be a spot where you test the combination of Clemens and Posada, but you've got Miller up now and a home run hitter in Veritek, who's hit 15 home runs out of the number 9 spot, waiting on deck. So it's not like it's the light hitting end of the order for Boston like it is with so many teams.
When guys are swinging the bats like the Red Sox are swinging them, you have a tendency to play a base-to-base type of game.
Strike 2 on Miller.
There's no sense in running yourself into an out when everybody at the plate can hit the ball out.
Look at this. Bottom of the order for Boston, 6 for 9, or 6 through 9, 12 for 22 with 7 of the 9 home runs hit. 7 yesterday, 2 today. Typically, Clemens is a guy you can take advantage of when you're on the bases trying to swipe one.
Like most power pitchers, he does not hold runners on.
That time Nixon faked. The pitch was up and away, and it's 2-2.
But again, why try to run around the bases when you can walk around the bases, as the Red Sox have done for the past game and a half here at Yankee Stadium?
Into right center field, another Boston hit. And it's 2 on with nobody out, and again it's the bottom of the order making noise as Veritek walks in. The flip side of all this, Tim, is while the Red Sox in the early part of the game have to try to build up as much of a cushion as they can, especially on a day when Mendoza is making his first start. You can't think he's going to go deep into this game. Grady Little at some point is going to have to start dipping into that Boston bullpen, which comes into this game with a 5.41 ERA. So it's in the category of stay tuned. It's a good start, but you know the Red Sox fans aren't comfortable up by only 3. Veritek grounds 1 to Zeal, bobbles it, and it's second and third, 1 out. Could have been a double play ball. And no chance after the bobble. Second and third, 1 away as the runners advance.
You might say, well, the ball wasn't hit that hard, and you're right. But Veritek is not a fast runner. Had Zeal made a strong throw to second base, perhaps he gets the double play. But the bobble, a lot of times first basemen, they bobble a ball like that because when they look, the base runner is right there. But on that one, clearly Zeal never had control of the ball.
Only the out at first. And now the infield will come in with Johnny Damon at the plate, 0 for 2. Runners at second and third.
Even with the infield in, you have a 3-run lead. The runner from third should be going. You take more chances when you're ahead. The worst that can happen, it's first and third and 2 out, and then Damon's a fast runner. Perhaps he could steal the base. But in that process, you've taken a chance on scoring a run. A lot of managers see the infield in and immediately say, we don't chance it. Good base runners can score with the infield in.
A wide strike on the first pitch, and Clemens goes a little wider, and it's called ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Damon, the only player in this Boston Red Sox starting lineup with an average under 300. Right now it's right at 250. Two and one with Todd Walker on deck. Would you even mess around with a squeeze play with the way the Boston Red Sox swing the bats?
I don't think so. Man on third, it's different. Man, on second and third, no.
Damon floats one into left center field. 1 run will score. Here comes Miller. 2 runs will score. And it's 5-0 Red Sox here in the 5th. A missed opportunity, Tim, on that double play ball. It sets up runners at second and third with only 1 out. The infield comes in, and there's a lot of room between the infielders and the outfielders, and Johnny Damon just found it.
You can see the space between the center fielder and the shortstop. A lot of room out there off the end of the bat. 2 easy runs for the Red Sox.
Now Boston has 5 hits, 3 in this inning, and a check on Damon at first. And this could be a spot where you try and steal a base.
Yeah, right. Good tandem of Walker, not a power hitter, and Damon with good speed. 15 stolen bases in 17 tries.
Fly to left twice. There goes Damon. The throw by Posada, not in time. It trickles away. Damon's going to go to third. No one's there. Clemens has to cover and safe. And Damon throws a shoulder into Clemens at the end of the play.
And Clemens threw a shoulder into Damon. And I think that's one reason that Damon reacted as he did. Think about this. Had Damon gone in feet first, think of the chance of danger and injury for Roger Clemens. Excellent base running. Diving into second, the ball hits Johnny, bounds over towards shortstop, and Clemens belatedly covers third base. Damon sees that, so the ball arrives the same time as Clemens, and Clemens gave the shoulder, Damon gave the shoulder. But think, had Damon gone in feet first, how dangerous that could have been for Roger Clemens.
And now a visit to the mound as one of the assistant trainers runs out to check on Roger Clemens.
Actually, that's a catcher's base right there. What happens if you're thinking about it, because it happens so seldomly you rarely do, the catcher covers third, the pitcher covers home. You try your best to keep the pitcher out of harm's way.
Well, if any team should know, it should be the Yankees. That's how they lost Derek Jeter on opening day in Toronto, with Ken Huckabee, the catcher for the Blue Jays, running down to cover third base, getting his knees down, and it was into the knees that Jeter went hand and head first, dislocating that left shoulder.
That was with, as you said, Huckabee, the catcher of the Blue Jays, covering third, and the pitcher covering home. Here Clemens covers third, and we will see if Clemens is hurt.
It's a stolen base, E2. To allow Damon to go to third. Now again the infield has to come in, and Todd Walker's RBI chance is made easier. He's driven in 48. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I don't think they'll do it, but you're more inclined to squeeze with only a man on third, as we said, as opposed to second and third, because a hit scores 2 runs. And that's what happened for the Red Sox.
2-1 on Walker.
Be a little quicker with that telestrator, don't it?
2-1 pitch. 3-1 with Nomar Garciaparra on deck. Still only 1 out in the inning.
Situation where if you're Walker, you look inside part of the plate, and try to take advantage of that 314 down the right field line.
Sterling Hitchcock getting loose. Right now just stretching, but it's now Roger Clemens after David Wells was knocked around by the Red Sox here yesterday on the 4th of July. It's Clemens who's allowed 5 runs on 5 hits. The numbers for Walker in his career against Clemens. might not squeeze. That's almost like a squeeze, but holding at third is Damon. High throw and wild. Another run will score. It'll be an error on Clemens, and it's 6-0 Red Sox here in the fifth.
I think Clemens threw the ball to first base with a wary eye on Johnny Damon, who gave him enough to think about. There are a lot of base runners, and Damon's a good one, who would come far enough off the bag to make the pitcher at least think about it. Clemens with a brief look, a bare hand throw to first base, and a throwing error. There's Damon dancing off third. Clemens not knowing whether Damon was going to take off after the throw. See that look right there? I think that caused the error.
A pop-up on the infield. Garciaparra hits it to the right side, and it's Soriano taking it. 2 out. No RBI on the play, by the way, for Walker. It's just a straight E1.
See the look right there? Once Roger looks at Damon and picks up his target, it's late, and a throwing error and another run for the Red Sox.
That'll bring in Manny Ramirez with a runner at second, 2 out.
You know, think about that, Joe. Pitchers are not used to throwing with abandon. They're used to throwing to a mitt, to their catcher. When a pitcher has to do too much, chances of something like that happening increase.
Soriano in front of that high hop, and the inning comes to a close, but not before the Red Sox come up with 3 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors, 1 left. Boston having fun again today. Halfway through it, it's 6-0 Red Sox. Todd Zeile first up for the Yankees in the bottom of the fifth, and Mendoza deals. It's a strike on the inside corner. Zeile, the number 8 hitter, is average at .203. Then Kareem Garcia and Alfonso Soriano. One ball, 1 strike. Zeile was robbed of an RBI base hit with 2 out by Garciaparra his first time, and he takes ball 2 inside. Mendoza trying to get through 5. Two and 2.
He's trying to get through 5 with one of the better catchers in the major leagues, Jason Varitek, who is a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. Very bright. There are some guys who play that position who are very bright, but they can't make it translate into baseball sense, but he can.
That's up the middle, and Garciaparra's trying to rob him again. Wow. Garciaparra did the same back in the second to save a run, and this time it's for the first out in the fifth.
And this time it's even a better play. He has farther to go. Short hop, long reach, pirouette, 1 out. Earlier in the second inning, he is really fun to watch.
And now with 1 out, here's Kareem Garcia. And really, because of the injury to the left shoulder by Jeter on opening day, that's a play that right now Jeter's having a tough time making. Reaching on the move down to his left, let alone diving to his left. Jeter's not making that play, and Garciaparra has saved a run and now just picked up another out by going far to his left. 1-1 on Garcia, who singled his first time. Garcia's hit a home run in 3 straight games. Back to Mendoza. With 2 out, nobody on, back to the top of the order. We go back to the last start for Mendoza. It was here against the Atlanta Braves. That's Kilvio Veras. He went 5 innings, allowed 9 hits, 5 earned runs. Much better today as the Yankees elected over the offseason to let him walk away. The Red Sox wanted Mendoza for their bullpen mix. He came into this game having allowed 60 hits in less than 39 innings pitched. And today only 5, and they're all singles by the Yankees as he's 1 out away from getting through 5. Look at Soriano hang over the plate. I mean, he is just daring a pitcher to drill him. Just hanging that left elbow almost into the strike zone.
Yeah.
And flinching on a breaking ball that started at him and cut over the heart of the plate. Seems like every week we do a Yankee game, he's closer and more on top of the plate.
There'll be a left-handed hitter in a month.
Here's a 1-1. That's ripped, but foul. Strike 2.
But, you know, talking about Mendoza, I mean, he's a guy, I'm really not surprised that he has given up that many hits in the bullpen. When he's strong, he's high with his pitches. 10 groundouts on the afternoon, only 3 flyouts, and we said at the beginning of the game, ground balls favors the Red Sox. Fly balls will favor the Yankees. But a guy like Mendoza can get stronger and more effective as the game goes into the later innings.
A 2-2 pitch. And almost walking into the pitch. I mean, it's, if you're Mendoza, the question is, well, where do you want me to throw to the guy?
Yeah.
And he's literally on top of the plate, and that one grazes Soriano as he goes to first with 2 out.
Even though it was a curveball, but that's what Joe is talking about. You can see the hands that are almost on the inside corner. And that ball, and trying to get out of the way, Soriano is nicked with the curveball. Just got him on the elbow.
It's very Carl Everett-esque. One on with 2 out. Derek Jeter at the plate. Fastball's a strike, and it's been good velocity by Mendoza today. 91-92 with a fastball. Jeter is grounded out. He's singled. But only a .243 hitter in daytime games since the start of last season. Miller didn't look like he was ready for it, or at least didn't see it. Recovers and can't get Jeter. 2 on, 2 out. And a big missed opportunity for the Red Sox with Giambi coming to the plate.
I guess Miller has to play in closely for Jeter to protect against the bunt. But had he been back several steps, that's a hop right to him. By being in like that, the hop is on top of him in a hurry, and by the time he recovers, Jeter beats the play.
They've called it a hit, and he did beat it at first. Second hit, and now Giambi walks in. After this from Jeter.
Thing about Giambi, even on the sinker, there's Dave Wallace, who, after Tony Cloninger, the pitching coach that started with the Red Sox, Tony with cancer, watching the game, one would assume, from North Carolina, and our best wishes to Tony. But Dave Wallace, hired from the Dodger organization, formerly a pitching coach with the New York Mets. But the thing about Giambi, he can hammer the ball out the other way. He has great power to left center field. So Giambi can look for the ball away and still muscle it out.
Biggest out so far for Mendoza. 2 on with 2 out. And it's Giambi, red hot at the plate. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Giambi, the player of the month for June in the American League, hit .373. Was hitting .201 on May 21st. Calcium deposits on his eye. Had one taken off his left eye, and his average and the power and the production has taken off. A hit batsman and an infield hit. And Giambi could cut the Boston lead in half. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's one of those oh no situations for Red Sox fans. Brandon Lyon up and throwing now for Grady Little's Red Sox.
A 1-1 for Mendoza. 2 balls and a strike. First 51 games, 219. The last 31, 354. With 13 of his 22 home runs, and the slugging percentage is double. Three and 1. On deck is Sierra.
Catchers should have a caution sign in their mitt for pitches like this. Should be blinking just like at a crosswalk.
Three-one. Bases loaded. Second walk of the day handed to Giambi. 71st he's picked up this season, and it's Sierra. The pitches by inning for Mendoza only up to 67. He pitched 12 innings in his rehab assignment, did not allow a run, hasn't today, but the Yankees have a 2-out chance with Sierra at the plate. Strike one. And Mendoza didn't let up to throw that strike. Two and one. Sierra sitting on a pitch to rip. Two and two.
And he had it too. Inside, down, a good low ball hitter, and he fouled it off. Veritek sitting outside. That is a pitch to hammer right there, as Mendoza gave in to Sierra.
A 2-2 to Sierra. Too far outside. And the runners will creep. The runner at third is Soriano. He'll tiptoe down the line, and head starts for Jeter and Giambi at second and first.
Mendoza will keep it away. Sierra looking for it inside.
He reached for it. Going to take a good play from Mendoza, and he turns it in. to keep the Yankees off the board. Ramiro Mendoza gets out of trouble, gets around a hit batsman, a single, and a walk. With this defensive play, we are through 5 at Yankee Stadium, 6-0 Boston. David Ortiz looks at the first pitch, and it's outside for ball 1. Mendoza into and out of trouble by getting Ruben Sierra, who's hitting in the cleanup spot today for the Yankees, on a 3-2 pitch. Looked like Sierra chased one.
He did.
A 1-0 pitch is outside. 2-0 on Ortiz.
It's funny how baseball works sometimes, Joe. I mean, pitchers during a game may throw 280 pitches. That's for both sides. And often one pitch will determine whether a team gets back in it or not. And this was the pitch. Yankees trailing 6-0, bases loaded. 3-2 to Sierra. Ball 4. And the Red Sox got a run out of it.
Now Boston looks for more as they lead 6-0, and that pretty good pitch called for a ball. It's 3-1. You wonder how much more Clemens has left, backing up 3 times. The last time he was on the mound, a 91-degree day. The start of the afternoon, he's thrown a lot of pitches. He trails by 6. It's going to be another chance for the Red Sox to pile on. Full count.
And whereas Mendoza gets stronger and more effective with the heat and the work because he throws the sinker, Clemens gets less effective because of the heat, because he throws a 4-seam fastball. Mendoza may be done. Grady Little thinking, well, we got 5 innings out of him. Chance to win. That's it.
3-2 to Ortiz is low and a leadoff walk. Let's check in with Jeannie for a game break as we're in the 6th in New York.
And more memorable moments when the Cards and Cubs meet. How about Sammy Sosa's 512th career home run, tying in with Ernie Banks and Eddie Matthews for 14th on the all-time list. It also got the Cubs back in this one. 5-4 Cards, top 6.
Jeannie, thanks. Here it's 6-0 Boston. But as we said last inning, there's no Red Sox fan in New England that feels comfortable up by 6 with the way this bullpen has performed the first half of the season for Boston. And it looks like the bullpen will crank it up in the bottom of this 6th. Ortiz on with the first walk of the day, handed out by Clemens. Millar, who was hit on the left hand in the 4th, rather the 2nd, followed by the home run by Nixon. And it's good to see Millar able to continue after getting that pitch off the back of his left hand. A 1-1 pitch from Clemens. Low.
I think Kevin Millar has given the Red Sox something perhaps that they have lacked, and that's that devil-may-care attitude after losing excruciating games. The Red Sox have blown 11 leads this year, 11 blown saves.
Millar with a base hit through the left side. A walk, a hit. And there is no question that Roger Clemens is wearing down on this hot day. Been running around trying to make plays, covering bases. And his pitches are becoming more and more hittable. And that bullpen, I'm sure, will get to work soon. Actually surprised they're not working right now.
I am too. On cue. You know, you look at this week alone. I mean, the Red Sox go into Tampa Bay, a feisty Tampa Bay club, a much tougher club than it's been in past years. The Yankees will tell you that. The Yankees have had a tough time with Tampa Bay this year. Even though a good record against them, they've played a tough ball games.
Here's Clemens' nemesis, Trot Nixon at the plate, ball 1.
The Red Sox lose 2 extra inning games to Tampa Bay. One on Tuesday, one on Thursday. And because of guys like Millar, the ability to forget about it, they come in and pardon me, and pound the Yankees last night, hitting 7 home runs and pounding them again today.
Nixon rolls one over, and Zeal will throw to second, and they get the middle runner. So it's first and third, one out, as Millar is thrown out on the force out, 3-6.
Todd Zeal knew who was running. Watch how Kevin Millar slides and gets out of the way to clear the path to the ball to Garciaparra. To Derek Jeter, I beg your pardon.
So now first and third, one out, and the batter is Trot Nixon. Or rather Miller. Bill Miller is 1 for 2. Miller hitting .328, and he takes high for ball 1. It's Hitchcock getting loose, a left-hander, with the switch hitting catcher Jason Varitek waiting on deck. Two and 0. Brandon Lyon, who for a while was a closer for the Red Sox, still getting loose. He'll come in and take over for Mendoza, who ended up going 5 innings, allowing no runs on 6 hits. A couple of walks and only 1 strikeout. And a very important first start for the Boston Red Sox out of the former Yankee Mendoza. Here's a 2-1. 85 miles per hour. Have to guess slider, and the count 2-2.
Was a slider in a fastball situation. Miller looking away, and this ball came and bit him inside.
First and third, one out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Miller looked like was trying to go the other way. It's a 95-mile-per-hour pitch out of play.
Back in the early 70s, it was Joe Torre who came up with the best piece of advice for a hitter with 2 strikes. He used to say, and here's an MVP in '71. Joe's thinking was never let a pitcher get you out away with 2 strikes. Never be called out on an outside fastball.
They go outside, too far outside. It's a full count.
I think you have to send him right here, and if you do, the infielders may change their thinking. They may try to get Ortiz at home, even though they're back with Nixon running.
So we'll see if Nixon goes on a 3-2 pitch. Miller with 1 out, and the Red Sox up by 6. And Clemens tried to get a peek. Nixon did not leave too soon.
You can bet your mobile home he will be running right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
He's going, ball 4, bases loaded, 1 out. The day for Roger Clemens. And the day is about to end for Roger Clemens. Second inning. He hits Millar. Next pitch to Nixon. Home run. In the 5th inning. The throwing error by Posada. Clemens getting over to third base, having to throw a shoulder into Damon. That's almost like a squeeze. Then committing the error on the wild throw to first to allow Damon to come to the plate. It's 6-0, bases loaded, 1 out. Clemens is gone, and the Red Sox looking for more. Sterling Hitchcock on for the 19th time this season for the Yankees. A 4.91 ERA. And he is on with the bases loaded, only one out, and Jason Varitek at the plate. Boston already up 6-0. Missing off the inside corner, ball one. Overall, Varitek hitting .303 as a right-handed batter this season, hitting .368.
Almost 90 points higher right-handed.
Popped up. Shallow right, out goes Soriano. Not an easy play, and Sierra lets him back all the way out for the second out of the inning.
Hitchcock inducing the pop fly to get Varitek out. Things are a bit easier in the breathing category right now.
You look at the comparison to the starting pitchers. Ramiro Mendoza, his first start, 5 innings, only 5 hits. They were all singles. He walked 2, struck out 1, and for Clemens, he's hoping that's it. So are the Yankees, still responsible for the 3 runners on with 2 out. And now it's a lefty, Johnny Damon, against Hitchcock. Damon with a 2-run single his last time up, a stolen base, and eventually scored thanks to 2 errors. One by Clemens. Damon checked it. It's 2-0.
And holding up clearly.
Boston Red Sox started this day 3 games behind the Yankees in the AL East. Up 6-0. The bases loaded, 2 out, and now a 3-0 count on the lefty Damon.
No place to put Damon, so with the count 3-0, you not only take 3-0, might think about taking 3-1 too. That'll cause Hitchcock to have to throw 3 straight strikes.
There's one. Hitchcock really re-signed with the Yankees to be a starter, but then the Yankees went out and got David Wells, much to the Diamondbacks' chagrin. And that forced Sterling into the bullpen. And he's often used in these type situations. Lopsided score. 3-1 pitch. Outside to force home a run. It's 7-0 Boston. So he was taking on 3-1, and Hitchcock gets Varitek and then walks the left-handed hitting Damon to make it 7-0 Boston.
It is maddening when with 1 out you get the right-handed hitter, and then with 2 outs you don't get the left-handed hitter if you're a left-handed pitcher. That ball outside. Damon with a coy walk.
And now another lefty, Todd Walker. All of a sudden the plate is tightened up a bit. Ball 1 called by Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire. Bases loaded, 2 down. Slow roller, Zeal makes the play, feeds Hitchcock, safe, and another run scores. 8-0 Boston.
Get to the bag and then find the ball. When a pitcher has to try to find the bag and the ball at the same time, that's a bad formula. Because the ball's coming from behind him off the end of the bat by Walker. Watch Hitchcock. Really not busting it to the bag. You get to the bag and find the ball. Walker beat the play. Close, but he beat it.
It's an RBI infield single, and now Garcia Parra hits a squirter. Soriano has to make a play, and he does. The Red Sox leave the bases loaded. They've stranded only 4 all day. And the boos rain down from the seats here at Yankee Stadium. A hustling hit for Walker and an 8-0 Red Sox lead. Sterling Hitchcock just gave up a couple of inherited runners. For Clemens, he allows 8 runs, 7 of them earned. And now it's Brandon Lyon as the Red Sox have to go to their bullpen. Lyon was the closer, was 9 for 10 in save opportunities. Overall 3-5 on the season with an ERA over 4. Only 23 years old and a valuable piece, you would think, down the stretch in this bullpen for Grady Little, which has really struggled. 5.41 ERA. Opponents hitting .286 against it. Home runs allowed. That's in a 14-team league. And Hideki Matsui is first up. Matsui, Posada, and Robin Ventura for the Yankees. Strike one.
How odd is that for a team to be 3 games back of the New York Yankees in July and have the bullpen that poor? 13th in a 14-team league. It's almost unheard of in this day and age.
That's off the hands. The Red Sox went into this season with a plan put together by their general manager Theo Epstein and Bill James, who is known for his statistical work throughout Major League Baseball circles. And they went in without a quote-unquote closer, letting Uguet Urbina walk away after a big year last year. What they need is a closer. They acquired Byung-Hun Kim, initially put him in the rotation, but because they have been futile trying to close out games, they've had to switch Kim back to the anchor position down there as Matsui flies one into left for Manny Ramirez. 1 out. The irony of it is, the guy who struggled getting saves against the Yankees, Tim, in the postseason, Byung-Hun Kim, with his work 2 years ago in the World Series, is now the guy pitching in Boston at the moment who's supposed to be the closer for Boston.
It is the oddest of circumstances. You may remember the 2001 World Series. Two two-run home runs, and one in Game 4, one in Game 5. It tied the games. The Yankees won both of them, and the Diamondbacks took Kim off the hook by coming back in Game 7 to win.
95-mile-an-hour pitch off the hands and off the bat of Posada, strike one. I'm sure Byung-Hun Kim's out in the bullpen. He sees that he's on TV, and I'm sure part of him's thinking, gosh, I wonder what they're talking about as I sit here in the bullpen at Yankee Stadium.
Talk about excruciating. That was hard to watch. It was very exciting for Yankee fans, but from a human standpoint, it was tough to watch.
On top of that, one of the most emotional shots that I saw at the end of that World Series was the look of relief on the face of Kim when the Diamondbacks won, and the way his teammates rallied around him. Tried to buoy his spirits because he was the guy that Bob Brenly had to close games.
Right.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Posada. Well, if Byung-Hun Kim and the guys in the bullpen are watching out on the TV now, I suggest you turn off the TV in the next 5 seconds. Here's a 1-2 pitch. You have a little more time to turn off the TV.
It could be hazardous to your emotional health to go through this again.
Posada has a hit today. A single, a strikeout. That was against Mendoza. Now it's Lyon, and hard to believe Toronto let a guy that can throw in the mid-90s walk away. But he was claimed off waivers by Boston, and they're glad they did it. That is cranked into right field, and a home run for Posada to get the Yankees on the board. It's 8-1. Home run number 17 for the switch hitting catcher.
Posada got his fastball in 2003. In 2001, Game 4, World Series, Tino Martinez gets his fastball. Then Derek Jeter won it. The next night, Scott Brosius got his slider to tie it. The Yankees won it to take a 3-2 series lead, but the Diamondbacks came back and won games 6 and 7.
1 ball, 1 strike. A count on Robin Ventura with 1 out, nobody on. That's high. It's 2-1.
So many memories come flooding back. Less than 2 years ago, Joe, and about almost 2 months, about 7 weeks after 9/11, this city was in an emotional frenzy.
Here's Ventura trying to get 1 out to right. Nixon will give it a look and reach up and grab it for the 2nd out of the inning.
And I will never forget the looks on people's faces in leaving Yankee Stadium after Game 4, just seeing the unbelievable, and outside the stadium, perhaps seeing something as unbelievable, Paul McCartney directing traffic. Paul McCartney directing traffic.
I didn't realize he did that.
Yes, he did.
Seated right down in front.
Yeah.
During 2 of those World Series games. There's a strike over the outside corner, a 95-mile-an-hour pitch to Zeal. We had so many chilling moments in that 2001 World Series, and only a portion of them had to do with baseball.
That's so true.
Whether it was Ronan Tynan singing "God Bless America" here in the 7th inning as Zeal lines 1 into right center field. That's going to get all the way to the wall. A 2-out double. And the Red Sox and their fans thinking, here we go. The bullpen into the game. We've seen a home run, now a 2-out double. And it'll be Kareem Garcia walking in to take his hacks. President Bush walking out for Game 3 and firing a strike for the ceremonial first pitch. The national anthem just sounded different in October of 2001. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question: which of the 2 teams today needs more bullpen help? As you watch the first member and the first in what I'm sure will be a line of relievers coming out of the Boston bullpen today. Brandon Lyon. Garcia takes a strike. Hitchcock and the Yankee bullpen is already involved in this game. That was our Sprint Virtual Manager question. 62% of you said the Boston Red Sox need more help. Kareem Garcia, 8-1 Boston, bottom of the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Posada, a 1-out home run. Zeal, a 2-out double. Now he's out there talking to Garcia Parra saying, you're killing me. He's already taken 2 hits away from Zeal today.
Right.
A 1-1 to Kareem Garcia. Line drive, but caught by Walker, the second baseman. And so Lyon comes in the 6th and allows a run on 2 hits. The Yankees have left 8. We go to the 7th. 8-1 Boston. Back after this from your local Fox station. Brandon Lyon threw 1 inning of work. Came in and talked to his manager Grady Little after getting out of the bottom of the 6th.
How rare is that when a pitcher talks to his manager? Normally it's the pitching coach, but again, Dave Wallace came over in midstream from the Los Angeles Dodgers, so it makes all the sense in the world that Brandon would listen to Grady Little as Dave filters in his information over the next couple of months.
Hitchcock starts the inning with a ball, and now Ramirez takes ball 2. Boston sent 8 men to the plate last inning, scored 2 runs on 2 hits, plus 3 walks in the inning. They left the bases loaded. At 8-0. Now it's 8-1. 2-1. Ramirez today 0 for 3. That was against Clemens. That sliced into right field. Long run for Sierra. He looks up. It's off the wall, but well played to hold Ramirez to a long single. That's the way the 7th inning begins. For the first time ever, baseball's best square off to determine which league gets home field advantage come October. Major League Baseball's 74th All-Star Game as the brightest stars gather. This time it's more than just bragging rights. This time it counts. The 2003 Major League Baseball All-Star Game Tuesday, July 15th, only on Fox. The American League leading vote getters brought to you by Pepsi. Tim putting a little spot above the name Matsui and Ichiro. Two players imported from Japan to play here, and Suzuki and Matsui are both deserving of all-star spots. One on with nobody out, and it's a 1-ball-1-strike count on Ortiz.
Two leading vote getters, as a matter of fact. Ichiro number 1, Matsui number 2.
Fans had the ability to vote from Japan.
Right.
There's also internet voting. Here's a 1-1. Ortiz a little late. Strike 2. So we showed you the American League, and we'll give you a look at the National League when we get a second. Ortiz has walked and scored and homered. Sellout crowd of just under 55,000 packed in here at Yankee Stadium. Seal. They get the lead man, and that's it. Force out 3-6. How about the National League leaders, also brought to you by Pepsi? Bonds, Sosa, and Sheffield in the outfield. Roland and Renteria, and that's a late change. Renteria overtook Rafael Furcal of the Atlanta Braves. Marcus Giles, Todd Helton, and Javi Lopez, who's so deserving behind the plate. What an offensive year Lopez has had. And then don't forget there's going to have to be a DH named, and that will most likely be Albert Pujols, who's right at the top in the Triple Crown categories. 1 on, 1 out. And a strike to Millard.
Dusty Baker, the manager of the San Francisco Giants last year. The Chicago Cubs this year will be the manager of the National League team. And for me, Joe, right now it's going to be fascinating to see how the crowd reacts to Sammy Sosa on the heels of the cork bat incident. I don't think the people on the south side of Chicago are going to let him forget that. I think if it were played in any other city, then perhaps there wouldn't be booing, there wouldn't be a mixed response. But in Chicago, on the south side, when a guy from the north side corked his bat,
in fact, they were riding him pretty hard during interleague play a week ago. They played a home-and-home series with the Cubs, and they were all over him with the Cubs logo, that C inside a circle, and then ORK coming out of the C. Those T-shirts were sold, and somebody made a mint thinking of that idea. 2 balls and a strike, runner at first, 1 out, and Millard takes ball 3.
A lot of money in T-shirts.
I got stuck with a bunch of "I've fallen and I can't get up" T-shirts in college.
You did?
Yes.
I could take one of those off your hands.
I'll have to take them out of the basement. That cost me. 3-1 pitch. That's on the outside corner. Come back, Kevin Millar. It's a full count. did not get his arms extended. That should be out number 2. 1 on, 2 out. One of the aspects, Tim, that we talked about, we were in Chicago on the Saturday after the Tuesday when Sammy Sosa was caught with cork in his bat against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. We talked about how interesting it would be to see how Sosa responded after the incident. He's an emotional player, can be sensitive, and with the crowd reactions that he got outside of Wrigley Field, it was going to be interesting to see how he came back and played. And he's added to his average. He hit a home run today, he hit a home run yesterday, and he seems to have rebounded very well.
I think that's why in his own mind he had to be accepted, and I'm saying this in his own mind, as somebody who made a mistake. I do not think he made a mistake. I think he took the cork bat up to the plate purposely to try to get out of that funk he was in. However, the way it turns out, it was that Sammy made a mistake. All is forgiven. But on the south side, forget about it. They're not going to forgive, nor will they forget.
No balls, 2 strikes on Nixon. We've hit a 2-run home run off Clemens. Singled and scored, reached on a force out and scored. Runner at first, 2 out, and Nixon slaps one foul.
Will Barry Bonds be the starting left fielder for the National League? He has said that his dad, who is in poor health, Bobby Bonds, a great player in his own right in his major league career, and very, very sick. Barry could spend those 3 days with his dad. Certainly understandable.
That strike 3 call, and the top of the 7th inning is over. Time to stretch here at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox have left 5. They lead by 7. Fox Saturday Baseball is brought to you by Sprint, introducing PCS Vision. Clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. Hazy day in New York. It is hot, above 90 degrees, humid. GMC game summary. GMC, we are professional grade. The start for Mendoza, his first in a Red Sox uniform, his first since 2001, and he was very good. Roger Clemens roughed up a bit in 5 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 7 earned runs. Nixon and Ortiz hit home runs after Boston hit 7 in the win yesterday. And in this series, hitting .315 against Yankee pitching. Here are all the home runs. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. It's number 2 of 3 for Ortiz. Second one for Miller. There's 7. And today, Trot Nixon after Millar was hit by a pitch. And again, David Ortiz. 9 home runs in this series with 2 more to go tomorrow and Monday. You know, the Yankees, Tim, tried to take advantage of a rain out and an off day to load up their starting rotation, use their 4 best. No Weaver in this series. Brandon Clausen, before the rain out, was supposed to start this game, the rookie left-hander for New York against Boston, and in fact shipped him out to try to keep him solid and fresh while they figure out where Weaver is going to fit, maybe in the bullpen. And against Clemens, Wells yesterday, the Boston Red Sox have not slowed down with their relentless hitting attack. Here's ball 1 low to Soriano.
It doesn't matter what pitcher they face. Too many strengths and not enough weaknesses to hold them down. But how can you beat the Red Sox, who are 3 games behind the Yankees? You can outscore them. And that's what teams have done. The strength of the lineup against the weakness of the bullpen.
Strike 2. I'm sure the Red Sox fans who showed up at Yankee Stadium were quiet early. And then they'll pick their spots and make their noise throughout the bulk of the day as the Red Sox got 2 in the second, run in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, lead by 7. Soriano got that off the end of the bat. Damon over in left center, came a long way to get it. 1 away right now. Jeannie Zalasko with a game break.
All right, Joe, Cards, Cubs, come on. There has to be drama. Tom Goodwin advanced to third on a wild pitch. Second wild pitch by Cal Elfred brings about this play at the plate. Safe? Well, what do you say we take another look? My man Kevin Kennedy says Mike Matheny missed the tag big time. He's safe. Everybody has 5 in Chicago.
That's how the tie run scored with Eldred covering at the plate. The Cardinals come in a game better than Houston, 2 over Chicago. Cincinnati lurking at 4.5 out. And the Central Division so far in the National League has been a pillow fight. First pitch is low from Brandon Lyon.
Like a good Broadway play. Pillow fight. Had pillow talk on Broadway.
Here's Varitek with the webbing of his mitt, which you talked to him about before this game, breaking on that low delivery by Lyon.
Both you and I last night were taken with the webbing of Jason Varitek. As you can see, it broke. There is so much space there that if you're Varitek, you may worry about a foul tip getting through because of the space involved. Sometimes that leather gets so stretched out that a ball can hang up in there when you're trying to throw it to second or third. But he loves it like that, uses it almost like a first baseman's mitt, and he has another one broken in.
Every team has a guy, as Jeter grounds to Miller. Every team has a guy. It's usually a trainer or an assistant trainer who works on gloves in the dugout. And most of the time, it's them tightening the laces.
Right.
Especially with a catcher's mitt. But for Varitek, as this pitch ends up, this is the one that broke the glove, went right through the webbing.
Whoa.
They really have to try to allow some give in there because that's the way Varitek wants it.
Yeah, because if there's, on the other hand, if there's too much give, then what happens is what happened then. The ball could slip through, and even though it wasn't a big deal then, it could cause a wild pitch in a ball game.
Giambi now with 2 out, nobody on, ahead in the count 2-0.
For those of you who have bought shoes that are half size too small, you understand that leather will stretch.
Or inherited shoes too small. 2 balls and a strike.
Of course, you don't have to buy those. You're given those. Those are hand-me-downs.
Right. It's a cruel trick from the good Lord above when the second boy in a family has bigger feet than the first. 3 balls and a strike with 2 out, nobody on. Giambi into left center field. Damon messing with his glasses to get a look at a home run. Giambi goes the opposite way, and for Jason, number 23 on the season. Second hit by the Yankees today, and it's 8-2 Boston.
Yeah, earlier we talked about Jason Giambi and the power he had to left center field. When he hits a ball in that direction, he rarely hits it on the ground. Watch that front shoulder right here. You can't hit that pitch unless that front shoulder guides you to the ball.
Hit it out. And now Sierra, who had the best chance to get the Yankees back in the game with a score 6-0. Tapping out in front of the plate. Good play by Mendoza with the bases loaded, 2 out to end the 5th. Red Sox added to their lead with 2 more runs in the 6th. Yankees got those 2 back, but they're down by 6. 1-1 pitch from Lyon. Foul. Chad Fox, recently off the disabled list, is a right-hander, and he's getting loose for the Red Sox in their bullpen. trying to turn into valuable innings. Does. And Sierra can just stand and complain as Lyon racks up his first strikeout of the day. A home run by Giambi in the inning, but a solo shot. And as we go to the 8th at Yankee Stadium, it's 8-2 Boston. Welcome back as a leadoff hitter, Bill Miller. Bats right-handed against Hitchcock and takes a strike. Miller has singled, walked, scored a run. He's also struck out. Hitchcock relieved in the 6th. Pitched around a leadoff hit in the 7th, and now pitches the 8th. One ball, one strike. For the Boston Red Sox, Tim, they have to hope that they and Ramiro Mendoza can build off this start today so they can just leave Byung-Hun Kim out in the bullpen to help their setup and or closing situation, depending on what they do before the trading deadline.
Right. It's particularly important since Kim is a stopper, a short reliever, whereas Mendoza, for the most part, was used as a long reliever. And the Red Sox hope they have found their man after, again, we talked about it earlier, after not signing Urbina during the offseason. Found their man in Kim, who has much more experience than anybody out there as a stopper.
An all-star last year. 3-6 as a starter in his career. 20-17 as a reliever with 70 saves.
Really have to wonder why they put him in the rotation to begin with.
2-2 pitch. Popped up right side for Zeal. One away. Look for this burst on specifically marked boxes of 2003 Major League Baseball trading cards. And watch the All-Star game on July 15th on Fox for your chance to go to the World Series. Here is Varitek batting against Hitchcock for the 2nd time. He popped out with the bases loaded his last time up.
Having a bad bullpen not only costs you games, but it costs your key players rest. For instance, in a situation like this, Grady Little can't rest a guy like Varitek to score 8-0, have him fresher for tomorrow, because you hear footsteps. Trying to put it as kindly as you can. With the performance of the Boston bullpen thus far this year, that is putting it kindly.
And really, you look over the last month, last 28 games coming into today, make it 29 games if you count today. The Boston starters will be 15-2 with an ERA under 3. But it's the bullpen with that ERA of up around 5.5 that's dragged this team down as Varitek swings over the top of strike 2. Since 1999, the Boston Red Sox have led the Yankees at some point during the season every year. But it's the Yankees who continue to advance in October. And the Red Sox who end up watching the World Series. Here's a 2-2. Varitek reaching for it, pops it into left. Back is Garcia for out number 2. You look at the Boston Red Sox bullpen this season, the ERA saving games at a rate of 60%. Last year it was anchored by Uget Urbina, who right now is the hot commodity on the trade market with the Texas Rangers. The Yankees are talking to the Rangers about trying to acquire him. And on down the line, all those years that they reached the postseason. And it is virtually impossible, Tim, these days to win a World Series without a shutdown closer.
I'll say, I mean, you think of World Series champions over the last decade, and you clearly see that the likes of Mariano Rivera and his ilk, or its ilk.
Pitchers of his ilk.
Pitchers of his ilk. Thank you. I knew I was going to get ilk in there somewhere. From 90 through last year. Randy Myers with Cincinnati was a stopper, part of the Nasty Boys trio. Rick Aguilera in 91. Tom Hinkie and Dwayne Ward in 92 and 3. Mark Wohlers in 95. Fired back up there. Then in 96, John Wetland, Rob Nin with the Marlins, and then Rivera with the Yankees for 3 years. Then Kim with the Arizona Diamondbacks and Troy Percival last year. So with that in mind, I mean, how can Bill James sell the idea to Theo Epstein, the general manager, 29-year-old general manager, that having a stopper is overrated? It's beyond my comprehension.
The 2-2 pitch. Damon squirts it foul. That ball is trying to come back fair. It's still 2-2.
Yeah, John Smoltz in the Atlanta Braves. Where would they be without him? Billy Wagner in the Houston Astros. Where would they be without him? Gagne, Eric Gagne with the Dodgers, who have slipped back recently. Where would the Yankees be without this guy? How do you sell that to somebody?
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Damon checks on Ventura, backs up, throws off balance. Great play. And the inning is over. You could make the case that Rivera has been the most valuable Yankee throughout this run of anyone, either setting up Wetland or closing games after John left. It's 8-2 into the bottom of the eighth.
Not happening yet.
And a thrill for the fans to walk up with a spoon and bang on that little pot. Here's Chad Fox, the third pitch of the day for the Red Sox. He takes over for Brandon Lyon. Fox signed a 1-year deal, the former Milwaukee Brewer, and he is just off the disabled list. Missed 55 games with a left oblique strain. I don't have an oblique, so I don't know where that is. There's strike one in at the knees to Hideki Matsui. I think it's on your side.
It is.
Okay. Matsui 2 hits today, 2 out of 3, both singles.
I think it's under your love handle.
I was born with those. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matsui, then Posada, then Ventura. Jason Anderson, who's kind of been Mr. Mop-Up, is getting ready for the Yankees in their bullpen, and the Yankees are looking for help for their pen. Matsui with another hit. 3 out of 4. So that's the way the bottom of the 8th inning begins. Our Allstate Good Hands play of the game, presented by Allstate. Garciaparra took 2 hits away from Todd Zeile. 1 to save a run and the other to start an inning. That's from Gypsy.
Sing it, Ethel. Ethel Merman, the
Now
great Ethel Merman.
Bernadette Peters in that role. It's an 8-2 game. The Yankees trying to creep back in it. Posada takes a strike. A man on, nobody out, and already action. More action for the Red Sox in their bullpen. It's like Timlin is going to crank it up.
That's why the Red Sox fans here at Yankee Stadium are more reserved with their mocking "Let's go Red Sox."
The 0-1 pitch. Like Fox took something off that delivery. Strike 2.
There's a family that gets along right there. Have a Red Sox fan and a Yankee fan in the same family. One assumes the same thing.
On the outside, part 1 and 2. You're assuming that those people are in the same family. That group right there.
Well, yeah, it looks like this fella in the white shirt there could be the brother. He's too old to be the son. Not too old now, don't get me wrong. But now that might change things with that pullback, because now it looks like he might be with his wife. So I do have the right to change my mind,
Absolutely.
don't I? I didn't know the pullback there. Cute shot.
1 on, nobody out. 2-2 pitch to Posada. Got him on the inside corner. 1 on, 1 out.
Looked like a slider on the inside part, on which Posada gave up.
Good pitch for the first out. Matsui, the runner at first, is hitting .392 in his last 33 games as Ventura fouls it away with 33 RBIs in those 33 games. $7 million a year to ink him to a Yankee contract, and he is the only Yankee player with 3 hits today. No balls, 1 strike on Ventura. Ventura's been tired, so tired that Joe Torre rested Robin Ventura for the entire 3-game, actually 4-game weekend against the Mets last weekend. 4-game with that day-night 2-stadium doubleheader. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2.
I think what happens, Joe, when players get tired, I know from a left-handed hitter's standpoint, what happens is you don't feel like your hands are quick enough, so therefore you think you've got to start your body earlier. And what comes out of all that are lazy ground balls to the second baseman. Today, for instance, 2 double play 4-6-3 balls hit by Ventura.
Still 1-2.
You know you're not strong enough to pull that outside pitch, but your body starts forward, and then you're done. When the body starts forward, you're finished. Because 2 of the most vital things in hitting effectively is to wait and have quick hands. When the hands come forward with the body, your power's spent.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Check swing. He didn't go. And that might be a case of starting a swing a little early and trying to hold up. It's 2-2.
That's right. Knowing he has to start early, but held up. Clearly he held up.
Full count.
That's a bad
Seal on
pitch.
deck.
That is a bad pitch. 2-2 count, 6-run lead. You throw the pitch that the pitcher can get over the best, and it should have been a fastball. Now you know the fastball's coming. The slider misses low.
.96 from Fox, and it's still 3-2. No urgency yet for Timlin with a man on and 1 out, and a 6-run lead. And now it's 2 on with 1 away.
See, he didn't walk Robin Ventura on a 3-2 pitch. He walked him on a 2-2 pitch then. The 2-2 slider missed, and now that fastball stayed outside. That drives managers goofy. There are good walks and bad walks, and that was a bad walk.
So now it's Zeal, who has doubled, grounded out twice, thanks to the play of Garcia-Parra on the other end. 2 on, 1 out. And now with a runner at second, Fox and Varitek will get together. We've seen Varitek in this game, Tim, not call pitches by putting fingers down, but do more with his hand across his chest and looking at the shoulders and down on the knees. It's a lot more than I've seen.
Yeah, I think you picked up on that once last year with Varitek behind the plate. But you're right, he uses the equipment to give the signs. Right shoulder, left shoulder, lower abdomen. It's an unusual way to give signs, even with nobody on, because the opposing team can see your hands. They can't see your hands when the fingers are between the legs unless you're on second base. That's why it's surprising.
So you're saying it would be easier
to pick it up,
steal the sign?
I think so. I mean, with nobody on, he's giving all of the signs above the legs. I don't profess to know what the signs are. I have no clue. But it's an unusual way of giving a pitcher what pitch to throw.
Bill James taught him that.
Quantitative analysis.
2 on, 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes.
Said he went to Georgia Tech.
Now it's 2-0.
How many fans in Boston are just standing up in their chair, wriggling around a bit?
A pop-up behind the plate. Veritek gives it a look, and it's 2-1. There have been missed opportunities, to say the least, for Boston only the last 2 weeks. The Thome home run in that game at Philadelphia 2 Saturdays ago. Led 9-2 after 7 against the Marlins and lost 10-9 at the Devil Rays, losing on the first and the third. 1-run defeats.
Excruciating losses.
There's a strike, and it's 2-2. That game in which they blew a 9-2 lead was the day after. They pounded Florida
25-8 with 28 hits.
2-2 pitch. Zeal grounds one to short. Garcia-Parra, they get one, and that's it. First and third, 2 out. So 3 times Zeal has hit it to Garcia-Parra. And now it's first and third, 2 out for Kareem Garcia.
In that game, that was last Saturday, the Red Sox scored 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to take that 9-2 lead. But then the Marlins came back and scored 4 in the 8th and 4 in the 9th. A veritable litany of misery for the Red Sox pen in the first half of this season.
Garcia with a huge swing, strike 1. Kareem has singled, grounded back to the pitcher, and lined out to second. Eight 2 Boston, bottom of the 8th, 2 on with 2 out. And a pop-up left side. It'll stay in play. Ramirez coming in. He calls off Garcia-Parra. Good play by Manny Ramirez. The inning is over, and the Yankees have stranded 10. We go to the 9th inning. Boston on their way to take the first 2 games of this 4-game set. Jason Anderson is the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Yankees. Clemens, Hitchcock, and Anderson. You look at his numbers. I'll tell you, the coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox is Michael Weissman. Did you know that, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Wasn't aware of that. Producer of today's game, Pete Macheska. Directors John Moore, the associate director John Coleman, Eric Billigmeyer, our broadcast associate Steve Horn, with the help from Brad Engel, as the first pitch is ripped foul off to the right by Todd Walker. Strike 1. And in no way do I mean to suggest, by giving the credits for today's game, that this game is over.
No. Just a nice time to fit them in.
Well, typically we rush our way out of here, and we don't get a chance to say their names, and relatives become angry at you know who. Anderson gets one by Walker, up and in. 0-2. Technical producer Sid Drexler. The great Rich Basile has graced us with his presence. Coordinating producer of the studio show, Scott Ackerson. As an 0-2 pitch is worked home, and Walker pops one into left. That's easy for Garcia. 1 away. Jack Simmons in the studio. Senior producer of Fox Sports, Bill Brown. The executive producers, David Hill and Ed Gould. Nomar Garciaparra walks in with 1 out, nobody on. Fran Morrison helping us up here in the booth. Garciaparra is hitless today. He is a lifetime .344 hitter against Yankee pitching, but today he's grounded out twice, flied out twice.
Had a quiet night last night, quiet this afternoon, yet the Red Sox continue to pummel Yankee pitching.
Garciaparra hits it in the air to left center field. Matsui drifting, really carrying, but that's the second out of the inning. Our great feat of the game presented by Dr. Scholl's. And this was a home run that meant more than just 2 runs for Boston after Millar was hit on the hand by Clemens. Nixon went deep. And then Ortiz for the 3rd time in the first 2 games of this set. By the way, Tim, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers, I believe.
It is?
With 2 out, nobody on, Ramirez fouls it back and out of play. But maybe we'll save that story for another day. But if you want to hear Red Hot Chili Peppers, here it is. Listen to Flea just slap it.
What's that instrument?
Bass.
I know the dum 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 dum. I don't know that. That weird sound.
Spoons. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ramirez, who's 1 out of 4 today. 2-1.
The people who play spoons are the types of people who play the comb. Have you ever heard the comb played?
No.
A normal comb. It's true.
Max Patkin, who did it?
A number of people with whom I grew up, to give you an idea of my background.
A base hit through the left side. I've never heard the comb play.
I don't know how to do it, but nor have I run into anybody who does it in the last 50 years.
Have you ever met anybody who enjoys it?
No. Yeah, you know, in those days, Joe, it was like the harmonica.
Much simpler time.
The spoon, yeah, much simpler time. People couldn't afford instruments to make sound. And Ramirez is through for the day.
Gabe Kapler enters the field and runs at first. As Ortiz takes a ball up and away. Check swing, and that's off the netting in front of the dugout. Joe Carpenter, our audio wizard, tells us that it's a piece of wax paper over a comb. And you kind of hung through.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right.
Does that take you back?
It does. In my neighborhood, I'm not even sure we could afford wax paper. I think it was like, am I giving you the old hard luck story?
Here's Ortiz with a blast into right field. He hit 2 yesterday, and he's getting oohed and awed by the Yankee fans here today. Second home run of the afternoon. He came to New York with 5 home runs on the season. He now has 9 in 2 games. 4 total in this series.
In less than 24 hours. My goodness. I think the Red Sox fans present here at Yankee Stadium.
Now they're comfortable.
Now they're comfortable, and I think some mockery will follow.
It's 10-2 Red Sox in the 9th. And a ball low and away to Kevin Millar. So there is 10 home runs in 2 games for the Red Sox. 116th on the season. Zeal makes the play, and that'll do it for the top of the 9th inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 9th.
Is that calm I hear, that band?
No. Wow, what a blast. 10-2.
First time ever, the league that wins the All-Star game will earn home field advantage in the World Series. The stakes are raised. The intensity is back. The 2003 All-Star game only on Fox. This time, it counts.
Top of the order for the Yankees, and again they find themselves trailing by 8 as the Red Sox continue to pound. 10-2. 10 runs allowed in back-to-back games. First time against Boston since '77 for the Yankees. 10-3 the final yesterday. It's a 10-2 game today. Soriano took strike 1. He has been held hitless. He was hit by a pitch back in the 5th. And there's his first hit of the day. Even up by 8, the Red Sox have their bullpen active. The Red Sox are playing game 5 of a 13-game road trip. They lost 2 of 3 in Tampa Bay. They're trying to take the first 2 here with 2 more to go. And then it's off to Toronto, then Detroit before the All-Star break is Byung-Hun Kim. If nothing else, could come into this game to get some work.
That is an interesting point, though, Joe, that you made. I mean, here it is, 8 runs that the Red Sox are ahead, and they've got Kim, their #1 guy, as the stopper. Now, it could be, as you suggest, a way to get him some work, but I think it's as much getting him work, giving him some leeway.
There's a strike and a breaking ball, 1-1 on Jeter. Jeter 2 hits today, and his average is up to 290. It's been a long climb back. Red Sox have never swept a 4-game series at Yankee Stadium.
Neither at Toronto until earlier this year.
1-1 pitch. Jeter holds up, 2-1. Two and 2. Jeter on a 2-2 pitch. Almost walked into it, full count. Giambi on deck. Jason, one of 2 Yankee home runs for the day to account for their 2 runs on the board. Giambi with his 23rd, Posada with his 17th. Jeter strikes out. 3-2 breaking ball, and that's the first out here in the 9th. David Ortiz had 188 at-bats coming into this series with 5 home runs. He has 9 at-bats the last 2 days, and he has hit 4 home runs. He got Anderson yesterday. He got Clemens today. And he just belted one off Jason Anderson in the top of this 9th. Now Giambi takes a ball low. Jason's been on base 3 times today. Fox doesn't get the call. It's 2-0. Cubs came back on St. Louis and won 6-5 at Wrigley Field, so they're a game out. Cardinals with a half-game lead over Houston. They play tonight. That's on the outside corner. It's 2-1. Cincinnati's only 4 out.
Astros play at Pittsburgh tonight. Usually if it's that tight among 4 teams in any division, it stays tight for a long time. Reason, even if you put a move on a team like the Diamondbacks did against the San Francisco Giants, they had won 12 in a row before losing 2 and then winning last night. You just can't pick up ground. You have too many teams over which to leapfrog.
There's strike 3. Giambi is gone, and the Yankees are down to their final strike. The Red Sox are 1 out away from another victory at Yankee Stadium.
Nice tight breaking ball right here to get Giambi.
The Red Sox came in averaging 6.4 runs per game. Best for Boston. 1950 season, they averaged 6.7 for the entire year. They've scored 10 more today. Let's get out of here, kid. We'll get him tomorrow. The father says to his son, it's 2-0.
Andy Pettit goes to the Yankees tomorrow against John Burkett, and then a dream matchup on Monday. Pedro Martinez against Mike Mussina.
There's a strike. It's 2-1. Two innings from Lyon, 2 innings from Fox. After 5 strong innings as a starter from Mendoza. 2-2. And now it's the Boston fans who make their presence felt. Full count. Now they sit back down. Then they'll get back up. Sierra hitting cleanup today, 0 for 4. Sierra into right center off the end of the bat, and that, says Johnny Damon, will do it. The Red Sox won 10-3 yesterday and win 10-2 today. The winner, Mendoza, the former Yankee, comes back fresh off the disabled list and beats New York here at Yankee Stadium. A big day for Boston and the start of a big series. A crucial series where they've hit the Yankees with 20 runs in 2 games to creep to within 2 games of the top spot in the AL East. Next week, Fox Saturday Baseball returns when Andrew Jones and the Braves take on the Cubs and Sammy Sosa at Wrigley. Or the Phillies battle the Mets. Torrey Hunter and the Twins take on Garrett Anderson and the Angels in a rematch of last year's ALCS. It all begins next week with This Week in Baseball at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific here on Fox. You already know the names of all the people, at least some, who brought you this game from Yankee Stadium. For Tim, I'm Joe. For more information on today's game and for the latest information on Major League Baseball, go to foxsports.com. You've been watching Fox Sports, your home for the 2003 Major League Baseball All-Star Game and postseason. 10-2, the Red Sox win it. 2 wins at Yankee Stadium. So long.